In this video, we are going to create line animations from this website. So Valley is a great looking landing page. I found it on an inspiration website. Great looking animations here. And one of the animation that I really like is these lines animation wherein you see a path goes from one place to another in one direction on another. But you can also see these animations on other websites as well. This is an ongoing animation. So I believe this is quite popular. We have it in Eternity as well. This is the similar kind of animation which you want to recreate today. We are going to take Valley as inspiration, or we are going to create the exact hero section, but we are going to focus on this animation and we are going to try and recreate it under 5 minutes. All right, let's get into the video. This is what I have right now. This is the boilerplate code that I'm going to start with. I'm not going to create everything. Let me go ahead and show you the code for this. And after that, we are going to start a timer for 5 minutes. So basically, this is the image that we have that spans across the page. We also have a linear gradient going on, which is mask linear 0, basically 0 degrees from 1% to 50%, and you get this masking animation. Check my motion playlist if you want to know how masking actually works. This is the hero section that we have, basic styling, nothing fancy here. This is the paths that I've extracted from the SVG. Now, if you go ahead and inspect element, this part of the website, you will find an SVG here. This is the exact same SVG that we are using. Practically copied this SVGs and put it into a path. If you see M00L0404, it is exactly the same, and we've got 5 lines, 1 2 3 4 5, as you can see. This is exactly what I've put up here, and there translates as well along with it, because if you see this part, translate 370 0 is exactly here. That is how it aligns. If I do not pass any translate, they won't align side by side. This I've done so that they align rightly at the bottom, right next to each other. So let's get right into the video. Let's create our animation container, and I'm going to call it this const animation container. I think I can zoom it up a bit, and this will be div class name would be absolute pointer events none inset x0 bottom 20 or minus bottom 20 rather, because we wanted to set at the bottom. Z40 mx auto width full max width 800 pixels would work. All right, and I'll really quickly close this. Formatting is not working somehow again. So we also have to create these tags. I call them tags over here. Now time is running, so I won't take much of the time. I'll just go on and create tags. For that, let's create our SVG. So SVG would be viewbox 00. I can use the exact pixels from here. 734. So that is fine. 734 pixels. 734 and 405 was the height. Class name would be h auto width full, fill would be none. Now really quickly copy this from here right next to here so that you can see it properly. And now inside of it, I actually want to have 2 paths. Basically, this is one path, and the top of it, the animation, that is another path which we are going to animate the stroke, dash offset and dash array for it. Primarily stroke dash offset. I'll explain you what that is in a few, but we are going to copy these paths twice. So we've essentially got to replicate these paths, and so we are going to use 10 paths in total. 5 times 2 is 10. So that is what we are going to do. So for that, we have simple paths dot map path index, and I'll call it animated line. Key would be path.d, and rest of the path can follow. All right, I'll go ahead and quickly create line here. It'll contain 2 things, d and transform. Both can be strings, and here I want to basically map out a path. For that, I'll have a G tag. G is basically a group tag, and transform property would be transform, because that is how we actually align these SVGs. Now, if I map it out for you, if I have path, D would be D, stroke would be, let's say var color white, stroke width would be 3. And if I close this up over here, I fucked it up, fix syntax. 5 minutes mein yahi hota hai. 5-minute animations are done. Oh, I forgot the return here. Return. So once I go up to here, you see this is the SVG that we have. This is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what we are going to work with. All right, so that it stays right over here. All right, this is the SVG. Now we don't want that stark of an SVG, so I'll have color mix here in sRGB var color white, and I want 20% opacity. Rest can be transparent. So these are more toned down, more muted. Maybe I can increase it to 50%. So you see all the paths. Now if I remove transform, you'll see all of them are jumbled up. With transform, we can align it. So this is what we get. So now since we want to have moving lines, let's go and create our motion path. It is going to be exactly the path that we supplied. D is equal to D. Stroke width is going to be 1.5. So stroke is going to be our color white. Stroke dash array is going to be 0.1, 0.9. I'll tell you in a bit. Path length is going to be 1. initial stroke dash offset 0, animate stroke dash offset would be -1. So now if I go ahead and refresh, before that I need transition. Duration would be 2.5, ease would be linear, repeat infinity, repeat type would be loop, and repeat delay would be 0.5. Now go ahead and refresh. You see we have got these moving lines which go and then hold and then come again. So basically what I want to do here is, or what I want to teach here is, stroke dash array and stroke dash offset. I'll go to quickly draw.com and I have a line. This is your line and path length is equal to 1 here. This and this is segment and this is gap. Basically, I can increase this. This is segment, this is gap. By that I mean 10% of the line would be visible, 90% of it would be gap. That is why we have 0.1 and 0.9, which I want to use as segment and gap, which I'm going to pass in exactly here. And it will be segment and gap, and it will be minus segment plus gap. Basically, entire path we have divided into chunks. Basically, two chunks. First chunk is the 10% of it, which is the line we want it to be visible. We are converting the line into dashes. 90% would be gap, and that gap won't be visible. So basically, we are animating the path of it. As such, we are only showing dash array or the offset of it. Basically, we only want to show some part of the SVG and not the entire part of it. And that part we are actually animating with motion here. That is how you get your lines. That is pretty much it. You are done with this animation. Now we can go ahead and create a tag as well. So const tag, it will be children and class name. I'll use some bit of AI over here. Div class name would be CN, and I'll pass in children. Here can be class name. Let me quickly style it. Styling is simple: px4, py2, border, white, bg, linear to top right, from white by 50 to transparent, backdrop, blur, SM text, neutral, 700, uppercase, maybe, font, mono. Finally, font can be light, width can be 72 maybe. And with that, you have your tag over here. Also, it has to be absolute, inset x0, mx auto, or mx auto not required. I'll pass it over here. First tag we want to pass here is tag. Class name would be top 0 mx auto, and I want to call it company page visit. So once I have this, you see this is rightly aligned over here. Cool. This is what we have. Second is what we want to have on the left, 0, and top maybe 42, and it can be LinkedIn followers, but it is not aligning properly because I do not want MX auto. 42 is a bit too much. 22 and left can be 20, and that too minus. This is fine. One more thing I forgot here. Width can be 60, text can be center, and left can be, what if I have 0? 0 is too much. 4. That is cool. I maybe want to have right here LinkedIn or post engagers. Now it aligns. Insert x0. Now it aligns. And again 42, right, 20. Or not 42, maybe 50 is fine. Not post engagers, post commenters, and this has to be left, and visitors. Now you have your blocks rightly lined up, and I also want to have a big box, which is div class name would be size 52 absolute minus button 20 bg wide by 20 rounded md p2, and inside of it dot size full bg wide. This can be MX auto, insert x0. So now you have your own lines going on and you have your animation going on. Now video ends here. If you want to stick for the explanation, that is what I'm going to do right now. Basically, these lines that you see, this is because we have got this path. Paths are lines. We are repeating those lines, putting them in a group so that they transform properly, they align properly. After that, we have this stroke dash array and dash offset. Basically, what dash array means is, this is your path length. This is your path. We are giving it one value. We can divide it into multiple parts based on stroke dash array. That defines how do we want to divide it. If we have 0.1, which is one line here, and remaining of it is gap, we can specify which segment we want to animate, and that is exactly we are animating. Super simple to do with. You can also mimic a path with motion if you want to animate it, so you can have this circular at the tip of it. You can also do it that way, but this is how you create these line animations. And this was a 5-minute animation tutorial on how you can create line animation. Probably went too far, probably not 5 minutes worth it, but but it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. We are also doing a giveaway in which we are giving away t-shirts. If you want to participate, do comment and we are randomly going to pick 5 people. Till then, I'll see you in the next video. Comment down below on which animation do you want me to break it down under 5 minutes, and I'll be happy to do so. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. तब तक के लिए भाई जय हिंद, बहुत काम करो, बहुत मेहनत करो. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में मिलता हूँ.